20th century, hundreds of different kinds of animals have disappeared from the wild. This is the story of one of them. The New Zealand grayling was once the country's most beautiful fish, and quite possibly its most abundant. And yet, within only a few years, its population dwindled and vanished from these rivers that were once its home. The grayling was New Zealand's only native sporting fish, and at 45 centimeters and up to 1.5 kilos, it was a prize catch. It spent much of its life in fast-flowing and rocky rivers, using its highly specialized mouth to feed on the algae-encrusted riverbed. It was easily caught by rod and line, although the native Maori people used funnel nets and would often pull out 30 or 40 fish at a time. It was a plump fish, with a small head, quite like a trout, apart from its high dorsal fin. In color, though, it was exceptional. For most of its life, it was a rich red-brown, speckled with gray, and with an almost golden belly. The grayling laid its eggs high up the rivers in the fresh, gravelly waters. When hatched, the slender young fry would swim to the surface where the current would take them downstream. It seems that the fish spent at least part of the year, probably spring, at sea, but no one knows where or how it lived when it went beyond the fresh water. By summer, it would have grown to about 15 centimeters and would migrate back upstream to spawn in headwater creeks in autumn. The shoals, like these, were huge. There were reports from the 19th century of cartloads of fish being caught in a tributary of the Wairau River on the South Island. The demand for the delicate-tasting fish was high. The faint cucumber flavor of its flesh was very popular both with the Maoris and the new European settlers. But for them, the plentiful stocks of grayling did not provide enough variety for their sport. It was too easy to catch a fish that was so common that one shoal actually brought a mill wheel to a standstill. So, when the settlers started to get bored, they imported some of their own fish. In particular, the rainbow and the British brown trout. They were released in huge numbers in the same waters as the grayling. There they bred very successfully. European trout are aggressive fish, preying on the fry of other species, and the young grayling were an easy target for the new predator. Even nearer the sea they were not safe, because like the grayling, the trout were migratory. The finned newcomers were far from the only threat. As the human population grew, they wanted more farms and cleared massive tracts of land. But the forests had been vital to the balance of the country's ecology. With no trees to soak up the rain, the topsoil was washed away and the rivers flooded. The shady banks became silted up. The algae died and the stony beds were covered. The numbers dwindled fast, and the last authenticated specimen was seen in 1927. 25 years later, the authorities protected the New Zealand grayling by law, but by that time, there were none left to protect.